The 11 levels of spirit guides and what they do for you. Have you ever wondered who's guiding you behind the scenes? Not just one guide, but an entire spiritual team, each with a unique role, tailored to support your evolution across lifetimes. From ancestral voices whispering through your DNA to divine messengers from higher planes, you are not walking this path alone. In this video, we'll explore the 11 levels of spirit guides and what each one does to empower, protect, and awaken you. Across cultures and centuries, the belief in spiritual intermediaries has been a universal thread. From the Orisha spirits of West African traditions, to the bodhisattvas in Mahayana Buddhism, to the archangels of Christian mysticism and totemic guides in indigenous cosmologies, humanity has always reached toward the invisible helpers who walk beside us. Even modern psychology has nodded toward these unseen allies. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, populated by archetypes, symbolic forces that often mirror the roles played by spirit guides. The wise elder, the healer, the warrior, the child. In shamanic practice, these figures often emerge as guides in altered states of consciousness. Spirit guides can include departed loved ones, ancestors, angels, deities, ascended masters, elemental beings, star beings, and enlightened sages, all aligned with your soul's unique path and encoded destiny. Whether you're just opening to the idea of spiritual guidance, or you've been walking your soul path for years, this guide will help you name, recognize, and feel the subtle signatures of those guiding you, often in the quiet moments, dreams, synchronicities, and inner nudges. As you watch and listen, you may feel an inner pull, perhaps toward an ancestor whose name you don't know, but whose energy you've always felt. Don't dismiss this feeling. These subtle knowings are part of your awakening. Number 1, Gatekeeper Guide. Your energetic guardian and threshold protector. Before intuition, before insight, before the veil parts and wisdom flows, there is one who stands guard. This is your gatekeeper, a silent sentinel whose sole purpose is to protect your energetic field. Not a teacher, not a healer, not even a companion in the traditional sense. The gatekeeper is the guardian of your soul's boundaries, the first and final filter between you and all that lies beyond the veil. The role of the gatekeeper. Where the life guide walks with you, the gatekeeper stands before you. They do not follow you through your days. They station themselves at the entrance of your sacred space, the liminal threshold between the seen and the unseen. Their sacred duty? To protect your energetic sovereignty. They allow through only that which aligns with your soul's highest path. They block low-frequency entities or astral interference, thought forms, projections, and psychic clutter. Harmful unconscious content that you're not yet ready to process. Their role is precise, unwavering, and deeply aligned with your evolution. This is not fear-based protection. This is energetic discernment in divine service. Archetypal and psychological insight. In the language of archetypes, the gatekeeper is the inner sentinel, a reflection of the protective ego function in Jungian psychology. Just as the ego guards the psyche's center during transformation, your gatekeeper guards your sacred interior as you expand spiritually. In esoteric traditions, they are known as the watcher at the threshold, Western mysticism, the dweller who tests your readiness before deeper truths, initiatory guardians who appear only when the seeker is ready. The gatekeeper is not a barrier. They are a test, a mirror, a moment of pause before passage. Cross-cultural parallels. Gatekeeper guides are found in spiritual traditions around the world. Tibetan Buddhism, wrathful deities like Mahakala guard the practitioner's path. Kabbalah, the angel Sandalphon filters prayers and shields lower gates. Yoruba and Voodoo, Elegua or Legba opens or closes the way between worlds. Norse mythology, Heimdall guards the bridge to Asgard. Ancient Greece, Charon ferries souls only when it's their destined time. This archetype is timeless and universal, a sacred guardian of thresholds, both mystical and mundane. Signs of the gatekeeper's presence. The gatekeeper rarely speaks, but when they do, their voice is a feeling, a sensation, an energetic warning or invitation. You may feel them when a jolt of alertness stops you before entering altered states. You feel pressure at the crown or spine just before a download. A dream figure guards a gate, bridge, or cave. A subtle but firm no resonates before a practice or encounter. You feel a sudden clarity or safety entering sacred space. These are not accidents. They are your gatekeeper's way of saying, this is protected space. How to recognize and work with your gatekeeper. Unlike guides who give messages, your gatekeeper works through boundaries. To build trust and alignment with them, acknowledge them before spiritual work. Gatekeeper, thank you for protecting my space. Only allow what serves my highest good. Respect energetic resistance. If you feel blocked before a meditation or ritual, listen. They may be shielding you. Create boundaries in your daily life. The gatekeeper helps filter energies in both spiritual and social spaces. Visualize or name them if guided. Some see warriors, monks, animals, or beings of light. Their form is symbolic. Your relationship is what matters. Final thought. You don't need to guard your energy every moment. You have a spiritual sentry doing that for you. Silently, constantly, with unwavering love. If you've ever been stopped from opening a spiritual door too soon, felt protected in a vulnerable, energetic moment, been guided away from a person, practice, or place that felt off, you've already met your gatekeeper. They don't say, come in. They say, are you ready? And if not, they will wait. Because some doors are sacred, and some truths must only be entered through reverence. Give thanks. They are the reason your inner temple remains a sacred, sovereign space. Number 2, Guardian Angel, your soul's lifelong protector. There is one guide who never leaves your side, one whose sole mission is to protect your life path, not just from danger, but from deviation. This is your guardian angel, the silent sentinel who walks with you from your first breath to your last. Assigned at birth. Why? Guardian angels are not random helpers. They are assigned to you at the soul level, often before incarnation. Their presence is encoded into your spiritual blueprint, part of a pre-birth contract between your soul, source, and the forces that oversee incarnation. Their job isn't to control or interfere with your free will. Rather, they monitor the integrity of your soul's chosen path, stepping in only when something threatens your life's mission, timing, or destined purpose. A psychological mirror, the internal guardian archetype. From a Jungian and psycho-spiritual lens, the guardian angel can be seen as an expression of the inner protector archetype, the part of the psyche that upholds core safety, moral compass, and spiritual boundaries. This function becomes especially active in trauma healing work or spiritual emergence processes, where one must cross intense thresholds while maintaining inner coherence. Guardian angels, in this light, aren't separate from you. They are transpersonal expressions of your soul's own self-protective intelligence. How guardian angels intervene. They are not there to solve your problems. They intervene only when your soul contract is at risk. A premature death or exit point arises that isn't meant to be taken. Karmic interference from external forces could pull you far off course. You call out, consciously or unconsciously, for divine protection. Their interventions are usually subtle, yet profound. Examples include a sudden intuitive nudge to take a different route, avoiding danger. A delay or disruption that prevents you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. An inner voice or calming presence during moments of chaos, fear, or trauma. A literal life-saving moment that seems miraculous with no rational explanation. Many report being pulled back, frozen in place, or overcome by peace right before a near-miss event. These aren't coincidences. They are the energetic fingerprints of your guardian angel. Cross-cultural echoes. The concept of a protective, assigned angelic being appears in countless traditions. Christianity. Guardian angels are believed to be appointed by God at birth, Matthew 18:10, serving as divine protectors and messengers. Islam. Kiraman, Katibin, and other angels are believed to accompany and record one's deeds, while others guide and protect silently. Zoroastrianism. The Fravashi are guardian spirits who guide and shield souls through life and beyond. Kabbalah. Angels are emanations of divine forces. Guardian angels are said to guard your specific name or divine code. Ancient Greek thought. The daimon was considered a personal tutelary spirit, neither good nor evil, but uniquely bound to one's destiny. These guides aren't just metaphors. They represent a universal archetype of soul protection that transcends religion and time. How to recognize their presence. Guardian angels rarely make themselves known with flashy signs. Instead, their language is subtle, symbolic, and experiential. Look for a sudden calm during emotional chaos, an inexplicable knowing or voice that whispers just before crisis, a feeling of being held even when alone, coincidences that prevent danger, feathers, light anomalies, or specific numbers, 111, 444, during moments of fear or doubt, dreams of glowing figures, wings, or peaceful, radiant beings. If something ever felt too lucky, too perfectly timed to explain, it may not have been luck. It may have been grace, transmitted through the hands of your guardian angel, deepening the relationship. Guardian angels often respect your free will so much, they may stand back unless invited to help. You can build a conscious relationship by calling them in daily. Guardian angel, I welcome your protection and guidance today. Creating ritual space, light a white candle, or keep a feather on your altar as an anchor for their presence. Listening inward. Stillness increases the volume of subtle guidance. Journaling or dialoguing with them as a practice of intuitive connection. Remember, they are always with you, but they respond most powerfully when you choose to co-create with them. Final reflection. You are never truly alone. Your guardian angel is a constant companion on your soul's journey, shielding you from what you may never even know threatened you. They don't ask for recognition, but a simple thank you can shift the energy instantly, opening a portal of divine intimacy that reveals just how supported you've always been. Let your guardian angel walk with you, not in front of you, not behind, but beside you, always. Number 3, Life Guide, the keeper of your soul contract. Beyond the protectors and messengers, on your spiritual team. There is one guide who walks the path with you, step for step, from birth until your final breath. This is your life guide, not merely a helper, but the keeper of your soul's blueprint, the one who holds the scroll that maps your sacred purpose, key lessons, and karmic agreements in this incarnation. The role of the life guide. Where a guardian angel protects and a gatekeeper filters, the life guide navigates. This guide is the spiritual advisor assigned to oversee your soul's journey in this lifetime. They don't dictate your path, but they illuminate it, especially when you forget what you came here to do. They hold the contract your soul agreed to before birth, the themes and archetypes you chose to embody, e.g., healer, teacher, rebel, artist. The key relationships destined to trigger growth, the soul lessons your higher self sought to master, the timing of major awakenings or shifts along your life path. Unlike specialized guides, healing, creativity, ancestral, etc., your life guide never leaves. They're present in every season of your life, quietly helping you course correct when you stray too far from alignment. Nudges, signs, and course corrections. The life guide doesn't shout. Instead, they whisper through repeating signs, meaningful coincidences, and inner clarity. You may feel them when you experience synchronicity too powerful to dismiss. A book, phrase, or person appears at the exact moment you need guidance. You hear an inner voice that sounds like you, but wiser, softer, and deeply calm. You make a hard decision and are suddenly filled with a peace that defies logic. This is the life guide nudging you, not toward what is easy, but toward what is true. Archetypal and psychological insight. In-depth psychology, the life guide mirrors the higher self or inner teacher archetype, the part of the psyche that remembers wholeness and seeks self-actualization. This guide may also reflect the sage, mentor, or wise elder found in myths, dreams, and stories across all cultures. Their presence evokes clarity, wisdom, and remembrance, not of something new, but something deeply familiar. In Jungian individuation, this presence is the self, calling the ego back into alignment with its divine purpose. Cross-cultural parallels. The life guide archetype exists globally. In indigenous traditions, this is the spirit companion or elder guide who walks with the soul from birth. In Hinduism, the concept of the Antaryaman, inner controller, resonates, a divine guide who exists within. In Christian mysticism, it parallels the concept of the still small voice of God or the Holy Spirit. In Buddhism, it echoes the presence of bodhisattva energy that assists beings in their awakening. In Islam, the idea of the Raqib angel, who knows your intentions, shares a thematic resonance. Across traditions, this figure is gentle, wise, and consistent, the one who knows your soul's why, how to recognize and work with your life. Don't find this guide by forcing it. You'll remember them through stillness, resonance, and radical honesty with your own heart. Try this. 1. Ask before sleep. Life guide, show me a sign or message about my next step. 2. Journal your intuitive thoughts. Often, your life guide comes through in stream of consciousness writing. 3. Watch for synchronicities that repeat 3 times or more. This is often their energetic fingerprint. 4. Invite them in during decision-making, especially when both options seem logical, but only one feels true. Their voice won't sound external. It will feel like a remembering, a soft, powerful wave of truth that aligns your mind with your soul. Final thought. Your life guide isn't here to save you. They're here to remind you of the soul you were before the world told you to forget. When you're lost, they don't hand you the map. They help you remember where you hid it. When you're broken, they don't fix you. They guide you back to the pieces you once cast away. This guide walks with you in every moment, whispering not "go there," but "come home." Number 4, Ancestral Guide, the keeper of lineage, wisdom. Long before you were born, before your name, your voice, your body, your story was already being written in the bones and breath of those who came before you. Standing behind you in the unseen realm is your ancestral guide, a spirit from your bloodline who chose to remain close, not out of obligation, but out of sacred devotion to your soul's healing. They are the thread between your past and your becoming, the keeper of family gifts, wounds, and truths. They walk with you so you can walk free. The role of the ancestral guide. Not every ancestor becomes a guide, but some souls, deeply tied to your lineage, choose to remain near, to support you in healing generational wounds, breaking karmic patterns, and reclaiming the strengths that time tried to bury. They assist with generational healing, trauma, silence, shame, karmic untangling that spans lifetimes, restoring gifts once suppressed by fear or culture, family blessings, creativity, resilience, intuition, leadership. They may have lived recently or centuries ago. You may not know their name, but your soul knows their presence. Archetypal and psychological insight. In-depth psychology, the ancestral guide resonates with the archetype of the family soul, a field of inherited energy that contains both shadow and light. They reflect the inner healer who confronts inherited patterns, addiction, silence, scarcity, guilt, people-pleasing, exile. Their presence empowers the individuation and process, not to separate from family, but to redeem it. In shamanic and indigenous traditions, ancestors are active participants in our healing, not memories, but living allies across time. Cross-cultural parallels. The ancestral guide is honored in many sacred traditions. African traditional religions. Ancestors are called upon through ritual, altars, and naming rites. Shinto, Japan. Kami spirits include revered family ancestors. Native American traditions. Ancestors guide from the spirit world, often appearing in vision quests. Celtic spirituality. The mighty dead offer protection and ancestral memory. Christian mysticism, the great cloud of witnesses, saints and loved ones who remain near. Whether you light a candle, pour a libation, or whisper a name into the wind, you are not speaking to the past. You are speaking to a living bond that never broke. Signs of the ancestral guide's presence. Ancestral guides often speak not in words, but in echoes. Through blood memory, emotional waves, or sudden strength you didn't know you had. You may feel them when a dream figure resembling a relative offers guidance or comfort. You hear a familiar phrase or saying echo in your mind. You feel emotionally stirred by a place, food, song, or family story. You experience unexpected courage when confronting family patterns. A moment of intuition or inspiration is tied to your roots or cultural identity. Their presence is subtle, but unmistakable. They arrive when healing is not just personal, but ancestral. How to recognize and work with your ancestral guide. Your ancestral guide is most easily reached through ritual, memory, and respect. To connect, create a simple ancestor altar. Include photos, heirlooms, offerings, or symbolic items. Ask aloud before sleep or meditation. Ancestor who walks with me, show me what I need to remember and release. Write letters to your lineage, even those you've never met. Healing flows through written word as much as blood. Speak their names when you remember them. To name is to honor. You don't need full genealogical knowledge. You need willingness to heal what was hidden and carry forward what was sacred. Final thought. Your ancestral guide is not a ghost from the past. They are a guide for your future. They hold the stories untold, the blessings unspoken, the power that still pulses through your veins. They come not to haunt you, but to heal through you. When you walk forward with courage, when you choose love over fear, when you break a cycle with tenderness instead of shame, you are not walking alone. 1,000 ancestors rise with you, and one walks closest, whispering, "You are the dream we hoped would come true." Number 5, Teacher Guide, the activator of wisdom within. There comes a moment on your path when protection is no longer enough. When guidance must take the form of transmission. This is when the teacher guide arrives, not to walk your path for you, but to ignite your understanding of the path itself. What is a teacher guide? The teacher guide is a temporary, yet profound spiritual ally who enters your field during key phases of learning, integration, or expansion. Unlike lifelong guides, teacher guides are rotational. They arrive when your consciousness becomes ready to absorb a new level of truth, whether intellectual, energetic, mystical, or ancestral. Their purpose is not just to inform, but to activate dormant wisdom encoded in your spiritual DNA. They may appear when you're ready to deepen in. Energy healing and vibrational medicine, sacred geometry or cosmic laws, astrology, numerology, or mystical sciences, shamanic work or plant medicine, dream work, alchemy, metaphysics, or universal archetypes. These guides often specialize in specific disciplines and can feel like inner professors, soul mentors, or even download stations of multidimensional knowledge, while they rotate in and out. Teacher guides evolve with your learning curve. When you've integrated their teaching, they gracefully withdraw, making space for the next vibrational teacher aligned with your unfolding purpose. Some may return over time, especially if their area of mastery becomes relevant again. Others stay with you for months, years, or even just days, depending on the depth of the transmission required. You may connect with several over your lifetime, each activating a new layer of your consciousness, like keys unlocking different chambers in the temple of your mind. Psycho-spiritual parallels, the inner guide as higher cognition. Psychologically, the teacher guide mirrors what Carl Jung called the wise old man-woman archetype, the inner figure of wisdom who imparts transformative truth when the ego is ready to listen. In transpersonal psychology, these guides align with what's known as higher intelligences or transcognitive states, where the brain becomes receptive to non-local sources of information, often perceived as intuitive downloads or deep study flow states. These are not just intellectual processes. They are soul-level awakenings, triggered by resonance, not reason alone. Cross-cultural reflections. Teacher guides are embedded in spiritual lineages across the world. In Tibetan Buddhism, wisdom deities and dakinis appear to initiate students into higher knowledge realms. In Hinduism, the Satguru, or divine teacher, appears internally or externally to awaken knowledge aligned with Dharma. In mystery schools, initiates met teacher spirits in vision quests or altered states to receive sacred knowledge. In Sufism, the pir transmits divine knowledge through presence and subtle communication. In indigenous traditions, ancestral teachers often appear during plant medicine ceremonies, dream journeys, or rites of passage. These guides are not always beings of light. Sometimes they challenge, confront, or dismantle outdated beliefs to make way for truth. How to recognize a teacher guide's presence. Teacher guides don't announce themselves. Instead, their presence ripples through inspiration, obsession, and flow. You might notice a sudden magnetic pull toward a new spiritual or intellectual discipline, enhanced memory, or instant clarity when learning new information. Finding the exact book, teacher, or tool you needed, often through random discovery. A sensation of receiving downloads or revelations without conventional learning. Flow states where you absorb complex ideas effortlessly. A repeating symbol, number, or vision linked to the subject you're studying. When a teacher guide is near, the universe becomes your classroom, and reality itself begins to speak in the language of growth. How to work with them to consciously deepen your connection with a teacher guide. 1. Set an intention before study or meditation. I call in my teacher guide aligned with this phase of learning. Please transmit what I'm ready to receive. 2. Listen between the lines. Their voice often weaves through silence, metaphor, and synchronicity. 3. Pay attention to recurring authors, symbols, or disciplines. These may point to the knowledge they steward. 4. Be willing to be humbled. Teacher guides may dismantle old paradigms before imparting new ones. Final reflection. A teacher guide isn't just here to inform. They're here to initiate. When your mind is ready, they open the doors. But when your soul is ready, they teach you how to walk through them. They don't just give you knowledge, they remind you that you've known it all along. And when the lesson is learned, they vanish, leaving behind not just insight, but integration. Number 6, Healing Guide, the restorer of wholeness. Not all wounds are visible. Not all healing begins in the body. When your spirit aches, when your heart fractures, or when your energy dims, your healing guide steps forward. More than a helper, this is a spiritual medic, a transmitter of renewal whose entire essence is calibrated to bring you back into harmony with your soul's natural frequency. Who is the healing guide? The healing guide is a luminous being who specializes in restoring emotional, physical, energetic, and spiritual equilibrium. They are attuned to the subtle distortions in your field, wounds left by trauma, disconnection, or karmic residue, and work to gently correct, soothe, and restore what has been fragmented. This guide doesn't simply treat symptoms. They realign your entire energetic ecosystem, helping you remember that healing isn't something external. It's something awakened from within. When they arrive, you may first sense your healing guide during a health crisis or chronic condition that shifts your awareness inward, a dark night of the soul or emotional breakdown, a time of spiritual disconnection, burnout, or grief. After initiating a healing modality or spiritual practice, during spontaneous energy awakenings or deep meditative states. They often arrive during key soul recalibration windows, moments when your inner and outer worlds no longer align, and something deeper must be restored. How they work. Healing guides operate on multi-dimensional planes of restoration. On the energetic level, they may help clear blockages, balance chakras, or shift stagnant patterns. On the emotional level, they support the release of suppressed trauma or grief. On the mental level, they help interrupt cycles of distortion, fear, and self-judgment. On the spiritual level, they return you to your divine template, the encoded wholeness of your soul. They may work through sound, color, vibration, water, crystal frequencies, breath, plant consciousness, or the laying on of hands. You might experience their presence as a warm sensation in your palms or heart, a wave of peace descending in the middle of emotional chaos, sudden clarity about the root cause of an ailment, subtle inner nudges guiding you toward healing modalities or helpers, an overwhelming release during energy work or deep meditation. If you're a healer, for those serving as channels of healing, Reiki practitioners, shamans, intuitive healers, therapists, or medicine workers, your healing guide often works through you. You may feel a current flowing through your hands when working with a client, instructions to use colors, chants, light codes, or body positions, a knowing of where to place your hands, speak, or hold silence. Your healing guide stepping in as a co-facilitator, amplifying intuition, calming your ego, and guiding the session's direction. These guides often transmit techniques from other lifetimes, star systems, or Atlantean Lemurian healing traditions that live in your cellular memory. Psychological integration, healing as wholeness. From a depth psychology lens, the healing guide represents the self-archetype, the organizing force of the psyche that seeks total integration and balance. When trauma splits the psyche or creates inner fragmentation, the healing guide serves as a psychic bridge, reconnecting isolated parts of the self. Their role is not to erase your pain, but to help you alchemize it into power, wisdom, and compassion. In Jungian shadow work, this process is called individuation, the reweaving of your conscious and unconscious selves into one integrated whole. Cross-cultural reflections. In many spiritual traditions, healing guides have been invoked under various names. In Ayurveda, celestial beings and divas of healing herbs work with practitioners. In indigenous medicine, spirit allies, animal, elemental, ancestral, guide the healer's work. In Egyptian mysticism, beings like Thoth or Isis assisted with temple healing rites and sacred geometry for energetic alignment. In Christian mysticism, archangels like Raphael were invoked to channel divine healing into the body and spirit. In Amazonian traditions, plant spirits are seen as master healing guides, each with its own consciousness and vibration. Healing guides transcend religion. Their essence is compassion in action, light calibrated to the frequency of mending what has been torn. Signs of a healing guide's presence. Vivid dreams or visions involving healing temples, green light, water, or celestial doctors. Warm tingling in your body during meditation or rest. A spontaneous pull toward healing arts, herbalism, or somatic practices. Finding the exact healer, remedy, or teaching you didn't know you needed. Tears, emotional release, or energetic shifts in sacred spaces. A mysterious other holding space for you during your darkest moments, often felt but unseen. How to work with them. To consciously engage with your healing guide. 1. Invoke them before bed or during meditation. Healing guide of my highest good, please support the restoration of my mind, body, spirit, and energy field. 2. Ask for signs, then notice recurring images, herbs, numbers, or sensations. 3. Surrender control. Their work is often felt more than understood. 4. Create sacred space. Light candles, play healing frequencies, or bathe with intention. 5. Practice active receiving. Allow the medicine to come in forms you didn't expect. Final reflection. Your healing guide doesn't just treat what's broken. They help you remember you were never broken to begin with. They awaken the healer within, not to fix you, but to return you to your natural state of radiance, coherence, and divine balance. Number 7. Joy Guide, the spirit of sacred play. When was the last time you truly played? When was the last time your heart laughed without reason, your body danced without hesitation, or your soul radiated just because it could? In a world heavy with striving, wounding, and soul-seeking, your joy guide arrives as a burst of sunlight through the clouds, a radiant emissary of play, creativity, lightness, and soul-affirming presence. They don't just bring happiness, they bring remembrance. That joy is not separate from the spiritual path. It is the path. Who is the joy guide? Your joy guide is a high-frequency spirit ally whose energetic signature is pure delight. They carry the essence of childlike wonder, spontaneity, and the creative force of life. They might appear in spirit form as a glowing child or effervescent teenager, a whimsical fairy, elf, or light elemental, a colorful animal totem, dolphin, hummingbird, butterfly, monkey, etc. A beloved ancestor known for their laughter or eccentric charm. A being made of color, sound, laughter, or sparkling light. Their presence is unmistakable. It's the sudden smile, the dancing breeze, the playful synchronicity, the inner voice whispering, "Why not?" Why they arrive. Your joy guide steps forward when life becomes too heavy, serious, or mechanical. You've lost touch with your inner child. Burnout, grief, or over-responsibility has dimmed your spark. You're stuck in spiritual bypassing, believing growth must be painful. Your creative energy is blocked. You've been doing the inner work, but forgot the joy of being alive. Their medicine is levity, not as a distraction, but as a corrective energy. Because when joy is missing, so is your soul resonance. How they work. Joy guides work through the frequency of delight, stimulating your limbic system, inner child, and creative channels. They whisper to the dormant artist within you, the dancer, the dreamer, the explorer, the lover. They bring soul healing through spontaneity, nudging you towards serendipitous encounters, silly jokes, and childlike play. Sensory delight, drawing you to color, texture, music, food, beauty, and embodied presence, creative flow. Awakening your urge to write, paint, sing, build, or express with no agenda. Nature play, leading you into water, forest, gardens, starlight, and helping you feel alive again. Laughter, transmuting stuck emotion with one moment of wild, unfiltered joy. Your joy guide doesn't speak in sermons. They speak in sparkles, giggles, and moments of wonder. Psychological integration, joy as an archetype of healing. In archetypal psychology, the joy guide corresponds to the inner child and the divine fool, the part of you that exists before shame, before judgment, and before the weight of roles. They are not immature or naive. They are deeply wise in their innocence. Just as the tarot's fool begins the soul's journey, lighthearted, open, trusting. Your joy guide helps reset your energy field, returning you to 0 point, the quantum state of infinite potential and soul alignment. From a Jungian lens, joy guides activate psychic compensation, balancing an overly serious ego or wounded psyche with a blast of vitality, reminding you that healing is not always solemn. Sometimes it's silly, sensual, and spontaneous. Signs of a joy guide's presence: sudden urge to laugh, dance, sing, or skip, even when you shouldn't. Vivid dreams of play, color, or magical realms. A song playing just when you needed it. Animals behaving in playful or uncanny ways around you. Unexplainable bursts of happiness or emotional release through joy. Inner nudges to paint, bake, swim, or explore like a child. Recurring totems like hummingbirds, dolphins, butterflies, otters, or clowns. Their sacred role in your evolution, joy guides are often misunderstood. In a world obsessed with discipline and depth, they are sometimes seen as distractions. But make no mistake, joy is an evolutionary force. Joy raises your frequency. It repatterns trauma. It reopens closed-off chakras. It is a healing technology as advanced as any light code or sacred chant. When you are in joy, you are in soul coherence. How to work with them. To consciously engage with your joy guide. Create play rituals. Paint with your fingers. Dance with no music. Wear bright clothes. Invoke them with intention. Joy guide of my highest good, awaken the laughter, light, and freedom within me. Help me remember the pleasure of being alive. Write letters to your inner child, or let them write to you. Laugh at yourself, watch comedy, tell silly stories, celebrate mistakes. Prioritize pleasure as a form of divine devotion, cross-traditional wisdom. Across cultures, the sacred nature of joy has always been acknowledged. In Sufism, ecstatic dancing and poetry were seen as paths to divine union. In Celtic tradition, fairies and elemental beings embodied joyful chaos and delight. In Taoism, Wu Wei, effortless flow, celebrates natural joy as spiritual harmony. In African spirituality, drumming, dancing, and laughter are part of the healing rites. In Hinduism, Lord Krishna, the cosmic flute player, teaches that love, mischief, and beauty are divine. Final reflection. Your joy guide isn't here to help you escape the world. They're here to bring you back into it, fully, playfully, beautifully. Because when your joy returns, so does your power. And when you glow with life, you become a living transmission of soul truth. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect to dance. The dancing is the healing. Number 8. Protector Guide. The spiritual guardian of boundaries and bravery. Not all spiritual work is gentle. Not all inner growth comes wrapped in light. Sometimes the soul must walk through fire. Sometimes it must stand its ground. Enter the Protector Guide, your spirit ally of fierce love, sacred boundaries, and unwavering spiritual defense. Unlike your guardian angel, who offers passive protection through presence, your Protector Guide is an active force. A warrior spirit who stands sentinel at the gates of your energy field. Their message is clear. You are not alone, and your light is worth defending. Who is the Protector Guide? The Protector Guide is a high-frequency being whose role is to safeguard your energy, fortify your boundaries, and anchor your spiritual authority, especially in moments of fear, trauma, confrontation, or energetic intrusion. They may appear in spirit form as an ancestral warrior or shamanic guardian, an armored archangel, often Archangel Michael, or a similar celestial protector. A primal animal totem, such as a black panther, lion, bear, wolf, or eagle. A cloaked, sword-bearing guide standing at the edge of your energy field. A divine mother or father archetype emanating fierce compassion. The feeling of their presence is visceral. It's not soft, it's solid, resolute, and intensely grounding. When they step forward, protector guides often step in when you're in an energetically toxic environment, workplace, home, crowds, rituals. You're under psychic attack, spiritual interference, or energy vampirism. Your boundaries are being crossed, or your sovereignty is being challenged. You feel fear, self-doubt, or spiritual overwhelm. You're beginning to expand psychically and attract unwanted attention. You're healing from trauma, abuse, or inner fragmentation. You're entering spiritual warfare terrain, subtle or overt. They move with precision, not from fear, but from spiritual command. How they work: your protector guide works across multiple dimensions. Energetically, they clear intrusions, shield your aura, and strengthen your energy field. Emotionally, they build your inner strength, self-worth, and resilience. Psychologically, they help you name and hold boundaries, especially when you've been conditioned to overgive or self-sacrifice. Spiritually, they remind you that your light is sacred, and you have every right to protect it. You might sense them through a tingling or heat around your shoulders or back, especially the upper chakras. A sudden surge of confidence or willpower in difficult moments. A firm inner no, or the compulsion to step back or walk away. An image, dream, or inner vision of a warrior, animal guardian, or glowing shield. A psychic snapback effect when someone tries to invade your field. Psychological integration. The archetype of the inner defender. In archetypal terms, the protector guide mirrors the inner warrior, the boundary maker, and the guardian archetype, all necessary components of an integrated psyche. From a Jungian lens, this guide helps you confront the shadow of people-pleasing, energetic passivity, or spiritual naivety, allowing you to develop discernment, knowing when something is aligned versus when it's manipulative, self-advocacy, speaking up and protecting your truth, healthy aggression, channeling power not to dominate, but to defend. In trauma healing, this energy is essential for rebuilding the protective layer that may have been damaged by abuse, gaslighting, or energetic violation. Common appearances and symbols. Protector guides often cloak themselves in powerful, recognizable symbols, swords or shields, truth, clarity, defense, fire or armor, purification, spiritual warfare, claws, fangs, roars, raw, primal power, wings or capes, speed, protection from above, totemic animals, fierce, wild ancestral guardians, sacred geometry or light grids, structural psychic shielding. Some may work alongside deities like Durga, Sekhmet, Kali, Odin, or Thor. Ancient symbols, a protective force paired with divine wisdom. Signs of a protector guide's presence. You're compelled to set boundaries where you never did before. You cut ties with draining relationships or toxic patterns. You begin to feel safer, even without outer change. You have vivid dreams of defending others, standing guard, or wielding weapons of light. You hear inner messages like, "Stand your ground. This is not yours to carry. Protect your peace." You feel a strong presence during meditation or danger, as if someone has your back. How to work with your protector guide. 1. Call them in with authority. Protector guide of my highest light. Stand with me now. Fortify my energy field. Remove all energies not aligned with truth, love, and soul sovereignty. 2. Visualize your shield. Envision a golden light grid around your body, pulsing with strength. See your guide standing just behind or beside you, a sentinel of power. 3. Practice psychic hygiene. Regularly clear your energy using breath work, water, light visualizations, or smoke cleansing. Your protector guide often works through these rituals. 4. Anchor your boundaries in action. Energetic protection is not just visual. It must be enacted through choices, conversations, and courage. 5. Train your nervous system. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the relationship you have with it. Your guide will teach you how to meet fear with presence and force of will. Cross-traditional wisdom. Protector spirits appear across global spiritual traditions. In Christianity, Archangel Michael wields the sword of divine justice and spiritual protection. In African cosmologies, warriors, gatekeepers, and ancestors walk beside the living as defenders. In Buddhist Vajrayana, wrathful deities like Mahakala protect the Dharma through fierce compassion. In indigenous traditions, spirit animals like bear, jaguar, or wolf guide the shaman through darkness. In Hinduism, goddesses like Durga and Kali represent protective, feminine power. Final reflection. Spiritual power is not just about love and light. It is also about sovereignty, defense, and discernment. Your protector guide doesn't just guard you. They teach you how to guard yourself. Because true strength is not about domination. It's about presence, clarity, and refusing to shrink. So when the world gets loud, confusing, or unsafe, stand tall, call them in, and hold the line. Number 9. Messenger Guide, the translator between worlds. Your messenger guide is the cosmic courier of your spiritual entourage, a nimble, high-frequency presence devoted to delivering divine communication exactly when and how you need it. More than just a bringer of signs, they're an expert in spiritual translation, helping your soul interpret the messages of the universe in a way that resonates uniquely with your consciousness. Where some guides teach through experience or protect through presence, messenger guides teach through synchronicity. They are the invisible architects behind the perfect moment, that song on the radio, that book falling off the shelf, or the repeating number that stops you in your tracks. In spiritual traditions across cultures, this role has many names. Agalos in Greek, messenger, where we get the word angel. Dakini in Tibetan Buddhism, a sky dancer of wisdom. Or Kokopelli in Hopi traditions, a trickster and transmitter of messages. Function and mechanism of guidance. Think of your messenger guide as a multi-dimensional dispatch operator, linking spiritual intelligence to your waking life through intuitive portals. They don't originate the message. Instead, they deliver transmissions from your higher self, your life guide, or soul counsel, the divine or source consciousness, ancestral spirits, deities, or interdimensional beings aligned with your growth. They specialize in energetic precision, timing guidance to appear when your awareness is most receptive. This is not random, it's quantum orchestration. Their toolkit includes angel numbers 111, 222, 12, numeric archetypes encoded with vibrational signatures that align with divine timing and soul-level themes. Symbolic messengers, butterflies, transformation, birds, messages, foxes, cunning, coins, abundance, or even tech glitches that redirect you spiritually. Audio cues, lyrics with uncanny relevance, chants echoing in your mind, or a stranger whistling a song that touches a truth within you. Dream architecture, recurring animals, stairways, sacred geometry, or unknown languages. The unconscious becomes a theater for revelation. Sudden knowing, claircognizant downloads that seem to skip logic and arrive whole, like remembering a forgotten truth. Across traditions, this function mirrors roles like Hermes in Greek mythology, divine herald between gods and mortals, Thoth in Egyptian lore, scribe of the gods, or Hanuman in Hindu cosmology, the devoted servant delivering Rama's message of divine aid. Psychic reception and interpretation. Your messenger guide works most actively through the clairsenses, especially claircognizance, clear knowing, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing. But their messages are only as clear as your inner receivers. That's why awareness is everything. From a Jungian perspective, they operate through the collective unconscious, tapping into archetypal imagery and symbols you personally associate with meaning. If butterflies represent rebirth to you, your guide will use that. If numbers feel sacred, you'll be nudged toward numerical patterns. Missed messages? That's common. When you're overstimulated or disconnected, your messenger guide will increase the signal, signs intensify, dreams repeat, and synchronicities become undeniable. When you know they're near, you're not imagining it. When your messenger guide is active, reality itself begins to shimmer with orchestrated alignment. You hear a song that answers a question you never spoke aloud. A stranger offers a phrase that breaks open your confusion. You dream of a symbol, then see it in waking life. You ask for a sign, and it appears, instantly or insistently. You randomly feel guided to take action that brings instant clarity. This is more than intuition. It's the invisible touch of a spiritual artisan, weaving timing, message, and personal resonance into a sacred delivery system. Spiritual role and why it matters. Messenger guides are proof that the veil between you and the divine is thin, and getting thinner. Their presence makes spiritual intelligence tangible. They're not here to teach through effort, but to remind you of connection. That spirit speaks, and you're always part of the conversation. When you trust their signs, you sharpen your discernment. Life transforms into a symbolic text, not a puzzle to solve, but a dialogue to decode. With time, you become fluent in the language of signs, and spiritual navigation becomes second nature. In Kabbalistic mysticism, this corresponds to the Sephira of Hod, divine communication, symbol, and synchronicity. In indigenous shamanic systems, they mirror totemic messengers who guide and protect through encoded messages from nature and dream. When to call on your messenger guide. When you need a clear, unmistakable sign. When you're lost in uncertainty or decision fatigue. When you're studying symbolic systems, numerology, tarot, astrology. When you're awakening to your psychic gifts. When you've forgotten that spirit speaks and speaks to you to connect. Center yourself in silence, then ask a simple, clear question from your heart. Trust that the delivery will come in the most aligned and recognizable form, and it will. Sacred expectancy is the bridge. Watch not with desperation, but with devotion. Cross-traditional wisdom on transitional and specialist guides. Across global spiritual traditions, the concept of specialized spirit guides who assist during transitions, crises, or initiations is deeply embedded in myth, ritual, and sacred cosmology. Though their names and appearances vary, their role remains consistent. They escort the soul through metamorphosis. Egyptian mysticism, Anubis and the weighing of the heart. Anubis is the jackal-headed god of embalming, funerary rites, and soul guidance. He is not a general deity. He appears specifically when death, literal or symbolic, is near. He prepares the soul, ensures its integrity, and helps navigate the treacherous spiritual terrain of the Duat, underworld. This mirrors how specialist guides assist during ego death, karmic transition, or loss. Tibetan Buddhism, Bardo guides in the peaceful, wrathful deities. In the Bardo Thodol, Tibetan Book of the Dead, the soul journeys through intermediate states between death and rebirth. During this process, specialized guides and deities appear, including wrathful beings that reflect the initiate's unintegrated fears. These transitional forces help purify consciousness, often through intense, symbolic encounters, a profound parallel to specialist guides triggering deep inner transformation. Gnostic Christianity, Sophia and the Aeons. In certain Gnostic texts, Sophia, wisdom, is cast as a divine intermediary who initiates the soul's descent into matter and helps facilitate its return to the pleroma, divine fullness. She often works through aeons, spiritual emanations that serve as guides or gatekeepers during different phases of cosmic evolution. This reflects the idea that specialist guides are not random helpers, but precise emissaries of soul evolution. Shamanism, psychopomps and initiatory spirits. Shamans across cultures, Siberian, Amazonian, Mongolian, etc., report encounters with psychopomp spirits or tutelary beings who appear during initiatory sickness, near-death experiences, or trance journeys. These spirits specialize in helping the shaman die to the old self and re-emerge with power. Such spirits may include serpent beings, eagle ancestors, or trickster deities who bring lessons through intensity and ordeal. Kabbalah, Binah, and the Gate of Sorrow. In the Tree of Life, Binah, understanding, is associated with deep spiritual gestation, discipline, and the pain of transformation. This Sapphira channeled the archetype of the Dark Mother, a sacred guide who teaches through loss, boundaries, and karmic correction. She is often encountered during dark nights of the soul in massive spiritual shifts, much like the specialist guide who doesn't soothe but structures the soul's evolution. Greek mystery traditions. Hecate at the crossroads. As goddess of witchcraft, necromancy, and lunar magic, Hecate appears at liminal places, crossroads, thresholds, and graveyards. She offers keys of initiation to those ready to confront death, shadow, or hidden knowledge. Her torches light the way through darkness. Hecate is invoked during rites of passage and transformation, echoing the essence of specialist guides as keepers of spiritual portals. Indigenous Australian lore, the Dreamtime Gatekeepers. In certain Aboriginal traditions, ancestral spirits known as Dreamtime beings govern the thresholds of creation, death, and sacred land transitions. Some of these spirits appear only when a person is undergoing a spirit journey, vision quest, or passage into a new dreaming. They hold knowledge of sacred law and help sing the individual through the veil, deeply aligned with the initiatory role of the specialist guide. Islamic mysticism, Israfil and the trumpet of transition in Sufi cosmology. Israfil, Raphael, is the angel who will blow the trumpet to signal the end of the world, ushering in a cosmic transition into the next reality. On a personal level, Israfil is also said to blow the divine breath into the unborn soul. His function is to announce and catalyze transition, bridging the beginning and the end, just like specialist guides who appear during death, rebirth, or awakening. Universal archetype, the threshold keeper. Whether called psychopomp, initiator, liminal spirit, or gatekeeper, this specialist guide represents the archetype of sacred change. They dwell in between, in the cracks between old and new, life and death, self and soul. Across traditions, this archetype is associated with symbols, keys, torches, serpents, spirals, doors, gates, sacred fire, animals, owls, wolves, snakes, ravens, phoenixes, jackals, forces, transformation, chaos, clarity, death, rebirth, sacred memory. Tools, ritual fire, initiatory dreams, chants, breath, mirrors, thresholds. Specialist guide, catalyst of soul transformation. Your specialist guide, sometimes called a transitional guide, is a sacred disruptor who emerges at the soul's most profound evolutionary thresholds. Unlike everyday spiritual companions, these guides appear only during ontological ruptures, moments when the very fabric of your identity must dissolve to birth a new self. Their arrival signals a psychic threshold crossing, a liminal doorway where your inner architecture is dismantled and reconstructed. These pivotal crucibles often manifest as literal or symbolic deaths, dark nights of the soul, radical identity collapse, spiritual initiations or awakenings, irreversible life reorientations. They do not merely escort you through transition. They initiate, catalyze, and activate transformation at the deepest levels, disrupting stagnation, awakening latent potentials, and orchestrating metaphysical realignment. Analytical depth. Why specialist guides arrive from a psychological, spiritual perspective. Specialist guides serve as liminal initiators, agents of chaos and order balanced, tasked with shattering ego constructs to allow the expansion of consciousness. They interact with your psycho-spiritual blueprint to unlock shadow contents long suppressed by the conscious mind, soul memories encoded in past lives or parallel timelines, karmic contracts linked to ancestral and collective lineage, divine archetypes embedded within your inner cosmology. Their ultimate aim is inner coherence at a higher frequency, a process often requiring disintegration before reintegration, where illusions fall away so that your authentic self can emerge fully. These guides are bearers of advanced spiritual technology, such as past life healing modalities, access to the Akashic Records, the cosmic library of soul history, techniques for soul retrieval and wholeness restoration, symbolic keys for navigating existential liminal spaces. More than guides, they are initiation priests who prepare you to embody and carry your expanded essence. Signs of presence. You may not see your specialist guide as a figure. Their communication is often nonverbal, working through intense dreams depicting collapsing architectures, gateways, or shape-shifting forms, sudden impulses to purge, move, or start anew without logical explanation, symbolic encounters with archetypes like the phoenix, rebirth, serpent, transformation, crone, wisdom, or hermit, inner journey. An uncanny sense that unseen forces are orchestrating your internal dismantling and reassembly. Initially, their presence may feel like chaos or crisis, but in hindsight, it aligns with the emergence of a more integrated, authentic self. Core theme: the liminal threshold. In both myth and psychology, liminal space is the sacred ground where transformation unfolds, a realm of ambiguity and possibility beyond rational control. Your specialist guide governs this threshold, embodying roles such as the initiator in shamanic rites, the gatekeeper in esoteric mystery traditions, the psychopomp who escorts souls through the underworld, the inner mentor facilitating identity death and rebirth. They are masters of the sacred in-between, guiding you to relinquish the known and step into expanded being. 11. Ascended Master or Higher Dimensional Guide. Catalysts of universal awakening and cosmic remembrance. Ascended Masters and Higher Dimensional Guides embody the apex of spiritual evolution. These beings have transcended the karmic cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, and now function as universal teachers, soul activators, and frequency anchors. Unlike other spiritual guides whose focus may be confined to individual lessons or life passages, Ascended Masters engage with souls prepared to assume global, multidimensional, and evolutionary roles. Those called to be harbingers of planetary healing and cosmic awakening. Analytical depth: the role and function of Ascended Masters. From a metaphysical framework, Ascended Masters operate outside the conventional limitations of linear time, space, and karmic constraints. They act as interdimensional facilitators, interfacing between higher dimensional realms and the material plane to transmit transformative energies and knowledge essential for accelerated spiritual evolution on both microcosmic, individual, and macrocosmic planetary levels. Their primary functions include transmission of light codes. These are complex energetic patterns encoded with sacred geometry and vibrational signatures that resonate with your DNA and energetic field, unlocking dormant potentials and accelerating spiritual awakening. DNA activations. Through vibrational influence, Ascended Masters can catalyze shifts in your genetic and epigenetic expression, enabling expanded consciousness and enhanced psychic faculties. Energetic and visionary downloads. They facilitate visionary experiences, often during deep meditation or dream states, where profound cosmic truths are revealed beyond the bounds of ordinary cognition. Inner remembrance and soul resonance. They awaken intuitive knowing that reconnects you to your cosmic lineage, the timeless, universal aspects of your soul's origin and purpose. Their presence supports those moving beyond personal healing toward leadership on a soul and planetary scale, guiding initiates to embody universal compassion, wisdom, and service. Rather than elevating egoic identity, they reveal and activate the latent divinity inherent within every seeker. Mechanisms of influence. Ascended Masters influence consciousness through multifaceted and subtle energetic channels. Light codes and frequency activations. These subtle energy imprints harmonize with your cellular structure and energetic anatomy, catalyzing shifts that ripple through mind, body, and spirit. Described metaphorically as cosmic downloads, they facilitate rapid realignment with higher vibrational states. Sacred geometry and symbolic archetypes. Embedded in universal spiritual languages, sacred geometry and archetypal symbols serve as multi-dimensional portals, enabling access to higher wisdom and facilitating integration of complex spiritual concepts. These often manifest in spiritual art, architecture, ritual, and meditation practices. Collective consciousness. Shifts. Ascended masters play an active role in the awakening of global consciousness, fostering unity, peace, and expanded awareness. Their energetic influence helps catalyze paradigm shifts within societies and cultures, supporting the evolutionary trajectory of humanity. Direct telepathic communication. Accessible during deep meditative or altered states, this communication transcends verbal language and occurs as intuitive impressions, visions, or vibrational downloads, fostering direct and immediate guidance from these higher beings. The experience of their presence is often accompanied by profound peace, clarity, expanded identity, and a deep sense of connection to universal consciousness, transcending the limited ego self and fostering alignment with the soul's highest potential. Cross-traditional wisdom, universal archetypes of ascended masters and cosmic teachers. The concept of ascended masters and higher dimensional guides is deeply woven into spiritual traditions across the world, reflecting a shared recognition of enlightened beings who have transcended earthly limitations and now serve as luminous beacons for humanity's evolution. Christianity. Figures such as Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene are viewed as archetypes of divine mastery and unconditional love. Jesus exemplifies the resurrection and ascension process, transcending death and embodying unity with the divine source. Mary Magdalene is honored as a sacred feminine presence of wisdom, healing, and spiritual empowerment. Their teachings emphasize redemption, compassion, and the awakening of divine light within all beings. Buddhism. The Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, and bodhisattvas like Avalokiteshvara, Kuan Yin, embody awakened consciousness and infinite compassion. They represent the path of liberation from suffering and the embodiment of wisdom and loving kindness. Their presence reminds practitioners that enlightenment is both attainable and service-oriented, dedicated to the awakening of all sentient beings. Egyptian mysticism. The deity Thoth, god of wisdom, writing, and magic, symbolizes the cosmic scribe and keeper of sacred knowledge. Thoth bridges the seen and unseen worlds, acting as a cosmic librarian who preserves spiritual truths across time and space. This archetype aligns with the Ascended Master's role as a transmitter of universal wisdom and multi-dimensional teachings. Indigenous and New Age spirituality. Interdimensional beings such as the Pleiadians, Arcturians, and Sirians are viewed as star elders or galactic teachers who assist humanity's ascension. They bring advanced knowledge of energy healing, multi-dimensional awareness, and planetary transformation, encouraging a cosmic perspective and the expansion of consciousness beyond earthbound identities. Hinduism and Tantra. Divine figures like Adi Guru Shankara, the great spiritual reformer, and avatars such as Kalki, the prophesied future incarnation of Vishnu, exemplify cosmic teachers who guide through cycles of destruction and renewal. The tradition of siddhas, perfected beings, parallels ascended masters, emphasizing mastery over mind, body, and energy, and service through spiritual empowerment. Jewish Kabbalah. In Kabbalistic teachings, the concept of divine emanations, sephirot, such as Keter, crown, and Chochmah, wisdom, relate to the archetypal energies of cosmic guidance and illumination. The idea of Tikkun Olam, world repair, echoes the Ascended Master's role in planetary healing and spiritual evolution. This cross-traditional tapestry illustrates that the phenomenon of ascended masters and higher guides is a universal spiritual archetype, transcending cultural and temporal boundaries. Their essential mission is consistent: to assist souls in remembering their divine origins, embodying higher truth, and co-creating the evolution of consciousness across all realms. How to connect with your spirit guides. A sacred invitation. Begin with intention. Set a clear, heartfelt intention to connect with your spirit guides. Speak to them with honesty and openness. Invite their presence, ask for their guidance, and request signs that you are heard. This simple, conscious act is a powerful beacon that calls your guides into your energetic field. Enter stillness. After setting your intention, gently quiet your mind. Release all expectations and surrender to the moment. Connection does not always happen on your timeline. It unfolds in perfect, divine timing. Trust the process, even if the answers come subtly or seem to arise from nowhere. Feel the energy shift. As you open, you may sense a soft but undeniable shift, a warming presence wrapping around you like a protective embrace, a charged breeze brushing your skin, or a deep inner calm settling into your being. These are the invisible touches of your spirit guides, affirming their nearness. Listen beyond words. Their messages often transcend language. You might hear whispers carried on the wind, feel intuitive nudges steering your heart, or notice meaningful symbols showing up repeatedly. Numbers, feathers, songs, or vivid dreams rich with symbolism. Embrace the language of feeling. Sometimes guidance arrives not as words, but as sensations. An unexpected peace amid chaos. A sudden inner knowing that shifts your perspective. Or a synchronistic moment so precise it defies coincidence. These feelings are your spirit guides, speaking in the purest language of energy and love. Patience is sacred. Remember, spirit guides operate in the timeless realm of spirit, often beyond your immediate perception. Their presence is constant, supporting you even when unseen. Cultivate patience, remain open, and nurture your trust. The connection is always there, waiting for your willingness to receive. Your spirit guides are always near. They walk beside you as guardians, teachers, and companions, ready to illuminate your path, awaken your soul, and guide you home to your deepest truth. Final thoughts: you are never alone. From your very first breath to your last, and even between lifetimes, you're guided, supported, and deeply loved. The more you tune in, the louder the guidance becomes, and every moment you align with their wisdom, you become a clearer vessel for your soul's true light. If this resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to Wisdom Activation for more spiritual tools and insights every week, and make comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, or provide us with insights into what topics you would like us to cover in future videos. Let your guides know you're listening, and keep walking your sacred path.